Ready to unwrap a surprise from Consumer Cellular? Experience the gift of freedom with no contract, no hidden fees, and always free activation. Here comes the holiday surprise. From now till December 31st, new customers can enjoy their second month for free. To get this holiday offer, visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM and use promo code PODCAST. Act before December 31st to get your second month on us. Use promo code PODCAST.
Attention Kroger shoppers. Did you know there's a world of innovative services and patient care right in store? It's where an award-winning pharmacy and nationally recognized care come together. Connect with one of our licensed pharmacists today at your local Kroger and experience the care you and your family deserve. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Services and availability vary by location. Age and other restrictions may apply. For coverage, consult your health insurance company. Visit the pharmacy or our site for details.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/get100 and use code GET100. That's code GET100 at prizepicks.com/get100. for a first deposit matchup to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Three Terrible Gamers podcast. This is episode 68, and I'm here with Colin.
Hey guys.
All right, we'll go through last week's last topic, and then we'll get into this week's. Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo 64 games have been released.
Harvest Moon 64, which I think we talked about one here before. Snowboard 1080, which laid the path down for SSX snowboarding games.
Good game.
And then Jet Force Gemini got released.
Yep. They were released on December 8th, so if you have Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack, you can play those as of 7 days ago, a week. So if you didn't know about it, now you do. That's really all we can say about that. So we'll move on to this week's topics. The Day Before has been removed from Steam.
So it made it a measly 4 days after launch on Steam, and the Day Before developer, that really messes with people with dyslexia here.
I don't know if it's F-fantastic or fantastic.
Yeah, whatever. I'm going to call it fantastic because, that's what my dyslexia is telling me to say. Even it's FNTASTIC, so whatever. Announced the game was a failure financially, and no more updates would be released for the early access title. They said that it lacked the funds to continue and was closing. The studio then wiped its YouTube channel, deleting all official uploads of the Day Before gameplay trailers. Its CEO has disappeared from social media, and the game itself has been pulled from sale on Steam. The game's publisher, Mytona, said on social media that it's working with Valve to provide refunds. Well, at least they didn't blame the gaming community for it.
Basically, it was a big scam. They made the trailers look really good, and then they released half made game and got money from it. Basically, is what it is. It's just a big scam, and it's a shame because people are really looking forward to this game according to the trailers, but it ended up being a big scam. And they said that it failed financially when the day one released, it was over 30,000 people playing the game, and there were a lot of people had this game in their wish list. You know, they were going to buy it in the future. So it didn't actually do that bad from a no-name developer having 30,000 on the first day. So I don't see how it failed financially unless their expectations were way, way too high. So, I mean, I think it was just a scam. That's just what it was.
Well, but still, in literally a week, it'd be Christmas time, so that's a whole nother thing they could have had financially too, was people
Right.
getting it for Christmas.
That's why people are saying, like, it's just they needed to release it, get people to buy it, and then just shut it down and keep the money. Is what they were trying to do. But the article I have here says Steam last Thursday, the studio behind post-apocalyptic open-world MMO survival game the day before, launched the game that had become Steam's most wish-listed title, based on a splashy reveal trailer. On Monday, the studio said it was shutting down and that no more updates will be released for the day before. Developer Fantastic announced its closure on X in a statement that read, "The day before has failed financially and we lack the funds to continue. All income received is being used to pay off debts to our partners." So like I said, it's just a big scam. They were just looking for a easy cash grab, basically. It sucks, but there's people like that out there. I mean, just rip people off for their benefit.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will probably sue them over it too.
Oh, I'm sure. And Steam, they do have a pretty decent refund policy, especially if you try a game out. I think it's for 2 hours or less and you don't like it, they'll give you all your money back. So if you bought the game and you haven't even played it yet, or if you've played it for less than 2 hours, then you can get your money back. And Steam's not stupid either. Like, they'll get their money back.
Oh yeah.
It just sucks to see that people do that to gamers. I mean, people are greedy. That's just what it is. I mean, it's been like that since humans were, created. So
That's right.
move on. Nintendo comments on Zelda's future.
Yeah, they broke it down not really too extensively. Surprisingly enough, they was still kind of hush hush with it, but the main point of it was they basically said there's going to be no more Switch titles to come to the Switch, so it's all going to be focused on the Switch 2 in the future, is what it is. So, I mean, we know for at least another year we're not going to get any Zelda titles.
Yeah, new ones at least, I guess.
I mean, shoot, they didn't really even hit on even remakes or remasters either.
No, but you know how Nintendo is with their wording. Especially they've been translated from Japanese to English. But yes, it says in a new Game Informer interview, series producer Eiji Aonuma made it fairly clear that whatever form the next game takes, it's unlikely to be a direct follow-up to Tears of the Kingdom. We heard earlier that Nintendo currently has no plans to create any form of DLC for Tears of the Kingdom, as they did with its predecessor, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So he talked about a few things in this interview, which you mentioned in this. There's not going to be a sequel to a sequel, so there's not going to be a sequel to Tears of the Kingdom. You're just going to leave it at that. They're wanting to move on from this Hyrule. Yes, the next game is going to be an open world Zelda game, but they're wanting to make a different Hyrule, different, story. Which is fine, I guess, as long as it's good, and I'm sure it will be, being a Zelda game. But the other thing that I really want to talk about in this interview was he's basically saying that there's not going to be there's no plans as of right now to go back to the traditional Zelda formula where you go to a dungeon, get a dungeon item, use that dungeon item to defeat the boss and go on to the next one. The linear path of Zelda. Do you think they'll ever go back to that Zelda formula?
I couldn't imagine so. I mean, I know we're calling the original type style was a linear play, but in reality, it's always been an open world game for the most part, even though it's still linear based. But compared to like a Mario game or any other platform, it's definitely an open world.
It's
title
definitely
still.
more broad, right?
Yeah. But now, where you have your option, and for the most part, I mean, I'm not saying you can go straight. I mean, you can go straight to canon.
Yeah,
you can go straight
in
to
both games if you want.
Both games if you want, but it's definitely the non-traditional route. I mean, I personally like it better because it's like, okay, I can go do this, I can go do that. There ain't nothing holding me here, and I mean, if they'd done it to an extent, that would be cool, I guess. But at the same time, you would still need to do stuff a certain way at that point, and then it would, limit you to what you can visit, like especially dungeon-wise, to do it. But focusing on more than just 4 dungeons, both games only have 4 dungeons technically. I mean, I guess technically Tears of the Kingdom have 5 if you count the Sphere Temple.
Yeah.
But
and even those really though, they weren't even traditional dungeons. Like you don't get a dungeon item, exactly. So
it's just a few rooms and then figure out where you're going.
Right.
It's like a maze, a dungeon.
Right. And I think that's what I miss. I mean, I love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, both great games, both my top 10 of all time games, favorite. So, but I do miss the traditional dungeons. Like, I wouldn't mind having the hook shot back or something, like a traditional dungeon item from the older games, like having a hook shot in Tears of the Kingdom, that'd be cool. Do you really need it with all of the abilities? Probably not, but it'd still be nice to have the option. You can get a boomerang. They do have that. It doesn't work the same as it does in the other games, but so obviously the big Zelda games, they're going to be done with traditional formula. They're just going to be 3D open world. That's fine, but I'd still like them to bring back the traditional dungeons in some way, even if they don't have dungeon items like a hook shot or whatever. Just an actual dungeon would be nice. Have different rooms, have different keys. They just feel different in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. But I think eventually it'd be smart for Nintendo to release a 3D open world Zelda game, then release a remaster or a remake, because it took 6 years for Tears of the Kingdom after Breath of the Wild to come out. So within that 6 years, they could do a remake, and then they could do, say, a new 2D top-down traditional Zelda game within that 6 years. So we're not getting just 2 remakes, because basically between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, we got Link's Awakening remake, and we got Skyward Sword remaster, HD. So instead of doing 2 remasters or 2 remakes, we could do a remake and then a traditional 2D top-down Zelda, which would what I would like to see. But
yeah, or they could focus on the new 3D title like they've been doing with Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and then in between the 6 years, make a new 2D Zelda in general.
Right,
that would be cool.
Yeah,
just whatever in between.
So basically, while we're waiting on that new 3D, just bring out a new 2D top down with a linear Zelda at that point. While we're waiting on that new 3D.
So Nintendo has to have enough employees to be able to make that possible.
Yeah, I mean, they could have the dedicated, like Agent Aonuma and all them, work on the 3D, the big Zelda game, and then, I mean, Grezzo has remade Ocarina of Time for the 3DS. They remade Majora's Mask, and they made A Link Between Worlds. So Grezzo, they could bring them back to get a top-down Zelda game. while the other actual Zelda team is working on the big 3D Zelda game.
Or even have, since we mentioned like Capcom and stuff's helping.
Capcom or even Bandai and Namco, where they're having an internal Nintendo studio now. They could have them work on it or something.
Exactly. So it's not like, I mean, exactly what I just said. It's not like they have lack of people to do this stuff with.
Yeah, and as of right now, knock on wood, so to say, Nintendo hasn't really laid anybody off. So they still have a ton of studios internally that could work on a 2D Zelda game while the Zelda team is working on a 3D, the next big 3D Zelda game. And I'd still like to see some remakes and remasters too. Like, I like to see Wind Waker and Twilight Princess get a Switch port like we've been rumored for the past 5 years. I still think it will come by the end of the Switch's life cycle because it's been rumored to be done for the past 5 years. So I think they're just waiting for the hype of Tears of the Kingdom maybe die down. Maybe we'll get it next year. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But I think we will.
We're so close. Since it's less than a year away, I say that I say that'll be release titles.
You think so?
I think so, yeah. I would go that far because if we've been getting it rumored for 5 years and this is going to go for the 6-year formula because next year is going to be 6 years that it's been rumored.
Yeah.
So therefore, it would make sense to just go ahead and do it that way.
Okay. So Colin's saying those will be launch titles. I say Metro Prime 4 will be a launch title, and then it'll be released on both systems too. Because I've said that for a while. And then I think where the rumored open world 3D Mario game, I think it'll be a launch title too, but we'll just have to see. But
oh yeah, definitely not gonna be a 2D Mario now.
No. Anyway, kind of got off on that, but I would like to see 2D top-down Zelda come back eventually. But anyway, Microsoft's Game Pass ad viewing plan.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
I mean, Microsoft Gaming CFO Tim Stewart recently described how in the future you may be able to view ads to gain access to Xbox Game Pass. Recent Xbox Series X and S console code strings we've seen seem collaborate these ideas with the ability to earn 15-minute blocks of Xbox Game Pass access in exchange for watching ads. So basically you watch an ad for whatever set amount of time. It's, not like a YouTube situation where you can skip it after so many seconds.
Probably like 30 seconds or something.
I don't even know if it would be, I say it would be longer than that. I would say they would do like a 1 or a 3 minute ad for maybe 15 minutes. Where, obviously, I say each ad would probably be 30 seconds, but, there would be like a 1 to 3 minute time slot where you actually have to sit down and watch. Which I know this is kind of a stretch because it technically wasn't advertisement based, but that reminds me of like playing older games on the Nintendo, like with the Wii on Smash Brothers Brawl, and going back and able to play older games for like 15 minutes.
Oh, like demos, kind of.
Yeah, like demo style, which obviously if you occur enough ads or whatever, and if you've got time throughout your day just to watch ads to get so many, because you think a good gaming session would be about 2 to 3 hours. I mean, I think that's a pretty reasonable gaming session.
Yeah.
You sit down and you watch, in this case, 15 minutes of ads, and then if you got, like I said, even if it was like the 3 minute thing, that'd be an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, hour and 15 minutes of gameplay. So, or if it's a minute, that whatever.
Not a bad trade-off. For free.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be, I don't know. I mean, I know it's possible, but I don't know if they would like do it mainly around Xbox games, Game Pass,
It'd be Game Pass, I'm sure. That's basically, that's what it is.
Like, I can't say it'd be like try to advertise alcohol or whatever. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, the ads you mean relatable. It's probably gonna be YouTube ads, something gaming related, like new releases or something. Or, I mean, people may just, I'm sure people will reach out to pay them to put whatever in. But we'll just have to see. I'm sure it'll be gaming related, though.
That makes sense. I mean, that way Xbox still gets their money too, and they're able to help people out that can't necessarily afford the Game Pass fees.
Right. Yeah, so it says Microsoft is reportedly planning to bring an ad-supported free tier for Xbox Game Pass. According to a report by The Verge, Microsoft Gaming CFO Tim Stewart hinted that the company might soon introduce a new tier on its Xbox Cloud Gaming service that supports ads for markets that are not console first. So it may not even release in the US. So what it means by markets that are not console first, it gives, for example, what he quoted for models like Africa or India or Southeast Asia, maybe places that aren't console first. You can say, hey, do you want to watch 30 seconds of an ad and then get 2 hours of game streaming? And it says Microsoft currently offers free cloud streaming for Fortnite that only requires a Microsoft account. There's no information regarding the availability of gaming titles for its upcoming ad tier. So you won't get access to all the Game Pass games, just select few. But like I said, it may, because a lot of people, even in the US, but other countries, the Xbox isn't a big thing, so they don't have the Xbox console or whatever. They just have cell phones or whatever. So they could get this on their cell phone, and instead of paying $16 a month for Game Pass, they could just watch a couple ads and then play for their games or whatever. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be good for it to come everywhere, not just places that aren't console first, because not everybody in the US has an Xbox console, or I mean, almost everybody has a cell phone nowadays. I mean, it's just what it is. So it'd be smart for it to come all over the world, not just in those specific regions. But maybe they just name those specific regions to test it. I don't know. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good market to try it in, if that's what it is, because you think they are the odd one out in the, at least there are two main competitors in the Nintendo and Sony, being both Japanese based,
right?
And then obviously Microsoft is American based. So I mean, they're definitely the odd one out for the most common theme in video games in the first place. So to test it out in other areas other than where your main console is sold makes sense.
Right.
Attention Kroger shoppers. Did you know there's a world of innovative services and patient care right in store? It's where an award-winning pharmacy and nationally recognized care come together. Connect with one of our licensed pharmacists today at your local Kroger and experience the care you and your family deserve. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Services and availability vary by location. Age and other restrictions may apply. For coverage, consult your health insurance company. Visit the pharmacy or our site for details.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/get100 and use code GET100. That's code GET100 at prizepicks.com/get100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
We'll move on. We've talked about this, seems like a lot on this. I thought we've already confirmed this, but here it is again, officially. Again, E3 officially comes to an end.
Well, last time it was more prediction opposed to an actual thing.
Yeah, but it's pretty much wrote on the wall at that point, though.
Yeah, it's very well obvious, but they announced it according to E3's website. The event is canceled once and for all. The iconic video game convention announced many of the greatest games for numerous generations. After more than 20 years of being an important part of the video game industry, the show is officially closing its doors. At previous events, many of the biggest developers and publishers within gaming showcased and previewed upcoming titles. Sadly, a few consecutive years of downturns and uncontrollable events saw the plug finally pulled on E3. I think that another thing that didn't really help this is the Game Awards in this situation. I know they've been pretty much running along side by side because I know the Game Awards have been around for about 20 years now too.
Yeah.
But granted, you don't see, I mean, obviously it's a expos for E3, so obviously they have like game cabinets and stuff you could play at, but typically they would still do, the main part would be still showing trailers and stuff for upcoming games and everything else, which is what the Game Awards do now.
Yeah.
This is pretty much just E3 was pretty much just a physical embodiment of the Game Awards, opposed to actually going there and getting awards and stuff. It was just showing upcoming titles. But now, like I said, with the Game Awards being as big as it is, it's just pretty much one big old thing, but you just lose your game cabinets for going there and playing stuff like that. That's why I think it's kind of like a downhill. I mean, it's been a downhill thing, but like I said, the Game Awards have definitely not helped the E3. But it don't matter now because now it's just the Game Awards that you're going to have to go through, or the actual company themselves are going to release stuff. We mentioned before as well.
Yeah, the rigged Game Awards, but I mean, it's sad to see. I mean, I like E3. There's been a ton, obviously, of great games and consoles released at E3. But what done it in really is the year of the pandemic. You know, obviously they couldn't have it, so all three companies just had their own shows, like the Nintendo Direct, Sony State of Play, and then the Xbox Showcase. They just realized, hey, it's cheaper for us to do it ourselves instead of having to go to E3, set up different props and make videos and stuff like that and wait their turn because it's like a 3 or 4 day thing they got to sit through, and you know that got to show up every day and everything. But anyway, they just seen it was cheap. Yeah. Yeah, and you don't even have to be there for their direct. They just stream it on their YouTube or whatever whenever. And, you know, they set a release. Usually they announce it the day before and just have it the day after that, and usually 10 o'clock Eastern time. So it's much simpler and cheaper on the companies to just have their own shows. And I mean, it sucks because I like E3, but it's just how the world is, internet based. It's just cheaper and easier to do it remotely instead of in person.
Yep.
So E3 is no more, and it began in 1995.
Almost 3 decades. It was 2 years short.
Yep.
28.
Yeah. we'll move on. I want to skip a couple because I want to talk about this. That way we can talk about it today. Zelda Link's Awakening DX PC port.
Yeah, the creator Link's Awakening DX HD uploaded a PC port of the 1998 Link's Awakening DX, complete with HD visuals, 120 frames per second scrolling, and a widescreen support to itch.io. But the game files were suspended following a copyright claim because Nintendo caught them.
Nintendo ninjas. I mean, we knew that was going to happen. But
the takedown notice was published on itch.io and is reproduced in full below. Do you want me to read the whole entire email that Nintendo sent to them?
Yeah, you can. I haven't seen it.
All right. In the note that Nintendo sent email to this guy was, to whom it may concern, I'm an authorized representative of Nintendo America, Inc., owner of the following copyrighted material. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. There's a bunch of different random numbers and stuff in here. I'm not even going to go through that because I don't turn those into words. Link's Awakening, the Game Boy version. It comes to our attention that the following game, Link's Awakening dxhd.itch.io/Link's Awakening DX offered on itch.io infringes the makes of unauthorized use of Nintendo's copyrights to the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening video game. For additional information, visit Nintendo's website URL, going down, telling the websites. Please act expeditiously to remove the download and information page for the infringed game. I have good faith and belief that the material is not authorized by the intellectual property owner, its agents, or law. The information provided to the notice is accurate, and I swear under the penalty of perjury, that I am authorized to make the complaint on behalf of the intellectual property owner. Sincerely, Nintendo of America, Inc. Ooh, I got Nintendo's address right here. I'll leave that out. I don't want Nintendo after us.
That's right. It's not what we need.
But yeah, so the port drew attention because it lets players zoom out and get the complete view of, I can't even pronounce the island's name, Kolantant Island? I'm way off on that. Okay. With all the NPCs and enemies remaining active. So yeah, it's Nintendo don't mess around.
They don't. I mean, we knew this was going to happen. I was kind of hoping to get this topic out there before it happened, but literally while Colin was doing his notes, it happened. But
Ashton had it from days ago, and it was when the port was still up and available, which I think you still grabbed the port, because I'm sure Ashton's already to explain that. But yeah, whenever I've done it, they had busted the guy.
Yeah, so what I'm about to read is from before they shut it down, but it says Game Boy Color Classic Link's Awakening DX now has an unofficial PC port after a developer released a cool looking version of the game on itch.io. Its creator, simply known as Link's Awakening DX HD, built the PC port of 1998's Link's Awakening DX, adding HD visuals, 120 frames per second scrolling, and widescreen support. Perhaps the highlight, though, is that the PC port lets you zoom out, like Colin said, to get a complete view of Koholint Island as all the NPCs and enemies remain active, which is really cool because, Colin, I'm sure you're aware, but those of you listening that aren't aware, on the original Game Boy version, you have one screen, and then when you go to the edge, it's scrolls over to another screen, But this, you can literally zoom out, see the entire screen, the entire map if you want. I mean, you can't really play it like that because you can't see Link very well, but you can see everything moving, all the enemies in the game, all the water, and that's really cool. But to actually play the game, it's seamless. Like there's no screen transition at all. Like you can just see Link walk wherever he wants all over the map. There's no screen transition whatsoever. 120 frames per second on a Game Boy game feels really, really good. It's really, really smooth. But unfortunately, it has been taken down by Nintendo Ninjas. And, I mean, you can't get it from the official itch.io place, but if you search it online, I'm sure you can still find it because people's downloaded it. I'm sure people have it available to give out if they want to. I'm sure it'll be somewhere on Reddit because Reddit's a good place for that. So just search for it and you can probably find it. But on the official website, it is down. Hopefully this guy doesn't quit. I mean, I don't want him to get sued or anything, but I'd like for him to remake Oracle of Ages or Seasons in the same way for a PC port. So hopefully Nintendo don't scare him too bad, so he'll do that. Maybe he'll go by a different name. Instead of Link's Awakening DX HD, he'll do Oracle of Ages, Oracle Seasons HD or something. I don't know. But hopefully we'll get some other ports. But this is a really good port, and he done a good job on it.
So I understand you can see the whole map in one zoomed out thing if you want to, but how does that affect the dungeons?
You can't see the dungeons because you have to actually go inside of those.
But you can see the whole, so you're seeing the whole overworld map.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep. You can't see, like inside of caves and stuff like that either, but on the outside, the whole map is active. Like you zoom out, everything's moving, all the enemies, all the fog, all the water. It's really cool. Good attention to detail.
Oh yeah, I can imagine so. But yeah, that's what threw me off. I'm just like, well, I was like, I'm assuming it's the overworld map and not the inside the dungeons because that would be kind of weird.
Yeah, it's just the overworld, but still, it's really nice and it has controller support and keyboard and mouse support. I used controller, but if you like keyboard and mouse and you can get a copy of it, you can use keyboard and mouse as well.
We're not saying to do it, but if you happen to come across it.
And I'm not saying I have it, but I'm saying I've played it. I may not have it anymore, but I'm not saying I don't. But that's all the time we got, guys. We appreciate you for watching or listening. You can always watch us live on Twitch and YouTube. Make sure to follow us on all of our socials, our TikTok, Discord, Instagram, Facebook, buy our merch on Redbubble. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Attention Kroger shoppers. Did you know there's a world of innovative services and patient care right in store? It's where an award-winning pharmacy and nationally recognized care come together. Connect with one of our licensed pharmacists today at your local Kroger and experience the care you and your family deserve. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Services and availability vary by location. Age and other restrictions may apply. For coverage, consult your health insurance company. Visit the pharmacy or our site for details.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of statistics, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and an enormous selection of players and stat options are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million football fans who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/get100 and use code GET100. That's code GET100 at prizepicks.com/get100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.